You've seen it 1,000 times. The car, the watch, the vacation photos from some villa that looks like it was built just for Instagram. That's what everyone thinks wealth looks like. The image that's been drilled into your head since you were old enough to understand what rich meant. Big house, nice car, designer, everything. But here's the thing nobody really says out loud. Most of the people who look rich aren't. They're just really good at spending money, not building it. Meanwhile, the people who are actually wealthy, the ones with real financial freedom, usually don't look like that at all. They're not showing off. They're not broadcasting their net worth with every purchase. They're the quiet ones who don't seem like they're crushing it, but somehow never stress about bills, never panic when the economy dips, and somehow always seem to have options. And that's the trap. We're chasing the appearance of wealth instead of the reality of it, and it's costing people their financial futures. My name is Michael, and I help people understand money the way school never did. I'm not here to sell you a course or convince you that the secret to wealth is waking up at 4 a.m. and drinking green juice. I'm here to show you the math, the psychology, and the brutal truth about what wealth really looks like, so you can actually build it instead of just pretending to have it. The illusion of luxury. Let's start with the obvious one, luxury, the shiny stuff, the cars, the watches, the brand names that scream success louder than your bank account ever could. Here's the problem. That version of wealth isn't wealth at all. It's consumption dressed up as achievement. You see a guy driving a $100,000 car, wearing a $5,000 watch, posting stories from rooftop bars, and you think, he's made it. But statistically, he probably hasn't. The average car payment for luxury vehicles in America right now is around $1,000 per month. That's $12,000 per year to rent a lifestyle that doesn't actually make you richer. Real wealth doesn't look like luxury. It looks like owning assets that quietly make you money while you're doing something else. Dividends, rental income, business profits, the kind of stuff you can't flex in an Instagram story, which is why most people ignore it. Here's where it gets interesting. The people who can actually afford luxury don't buy nearly as much of it as you think. Because once you've built real wealth, you realize how pointless it is to spend 6 figures on something that loses half its value as soon as you drive it off the lot. So if your goal is financial freedom, stop copying people who are good at spending and start copying people who are good at keeping. The debt-fueled lifestyle. Here's something most people never admit. A shocking amount of what looks like wealth is actually debt in disguise. The luxury cars, the big houses, the vacations, they're all financed. People don't own their lifestyle, they rent it. And the monthly payments are quietly crushing them. You know what's wild? The average American household carries over $10,000 in credit card debt, and the average car payment is now pushing $900 a month. Combine that with mortgage payments, student loans, and those no interest for 12 months buy now pay later deals, and you've got a nation of people who look rich on paper and feel broke in real life. Most people are living in a financial illusion. They think as long as they can make the payments, they can afford the lifestyle. But wealth isn't about affording payments, it's about owning freedom. And debt is the opposite of freedom. It's a treadmill that never stops moving. Real wealth looks boring because it's built on what you don't see. Paid off cars, no credit card balances, a smaller house that's actually affordable. It's the family that drives a 6-year-old Toyota but has 6 figures invested. The couple who skip the flashy vacation to max out their retirement accounts. Nobody posts about that because it doesn't look glamorous. But you know what it does look like? Peace of mind. Stay with me. This is where it gets uncomfortable. The middle class mirage. The middle class is shrinking, and not because people are getting poorer. It's because the middle class keeps trying to look upper class. We buy houses that are too big, cars that are too new, clothes that are too expensive, all in the name of appearing successful. We're told that success means moving up, better neighborhood, better car, better everything. But here's the thing. Every upgrade comes with a higher cost of living that quietly eats away at your ability to build real wealth. It's called lifestyle creep. And it's probably the most common wealth killer out there. You make more money, so you spend more money, and you tell yourself you deserve it. A nicer car because you've worked hard. A bigger house because the kids need space. A better vacation because you deserve to treat yourself. Meanwhile, your net worth hasn't moved in years. You're still living paycheck to paycheck, you're just doing it in a nicer zip code. Here's the punchline. Real wealth isn't about upgrading your lifestyle, it's about upgrading your freedom. It's not the house. It's how long you could afford to live in it if you lost your job tomorrow. That's the difference between being rich and looking rich. The real look of wealth. Okay, let's flip the script. What does real wealth actually look like? It looks like a modest home that's paid off early. It looks like an old laptop that still works fine because you'd rather have your money in the market than in Apple's pocket. It looks like someone who eats out once a week instead of 5 times and invests the difference automatically every month. Real wealth looks quiet, calm, grounded. It's the guy at the grocery store with the 10-year-old pickup truck who could buy a new one in cash but doesn't because his still runs perfectly. It's the woman who never posts vacation photos because she's too busy enjoying the actual vacation she paid for in full. Here's the thing most people never realize until it's too late. True wealth is invisible. You can't see it on Instagram. It doesn't live in your driveway. It lives in your brokerage account, your real estate equity, your emergency fund. The irony is that the more real wealth someone has, the less they feel the need to prove it. Because once you have enough, you stop caring about looking like you have enough. Time, the ultimate flex. Here's where things get crazy. The real flex isn't money, it's time. Ask any truly wealthy person what they value most, and it's never the car or the house. It's freedom over their time. Think about it. What's the point of making 6 figures if you spend every waking hour working for it? What's the point of having the latest luxury car if you're too stressed to enjoy the drive? The real win is waking up when you want, doing work you actually care about, and being able to walk away if you stop caring. Money is just the tool. Freedom is the goal. When you understand that, you start to realize why rich people often live like they're broke. They're not being cheap. They're being strategic. They know that every dollar spent on something they don't need is a dollar that can't buy them time later. Wealth isn't built monthly, it's built automatically. Here's the part nobody talks about because it's not sexy. Wealth isn't built through big wins. It's built through boring consistency, automatic transfers, regular investing, saying no to short-term dopamine hits. You want to know what wealth really looks like behind the scenes? It's a spreadsheet. It's a set of recurring deposits into index funds. It's compound interest quietly doing its thing while you live your life. You won't notice it at first. For the first few years, it'll feel like nothing's happening. But 10 years later, while everyone else is still financing their lifestyle, you'll be watching your money work for you. And the best part, you won't even have to think about it anymore. The psychology of looking rich. Here's where it gets uncomfortable again. Most people don't buy luxury because they actually want the thing. They buy it because of what they think the thing says about them. It's not about owning the designer bag. It's about the story that comes with it, that you've made it, that you're successful, that you're important. But that's not wealth. That's insecurity wearing designer shoes. If you need other people to see your success for it to feel real, you'll never be wealthy. Because true wealth doesn't need validation. It's silent. It's confident. It doesn't need applause. And here's the wild part. The minute you stop caring about looking rich, you free up so much money that building real wealth becomes easy. The hidden side of real wealth. Wealth doesn't always show up in ways people expect. It's not just about money in an account. It's about security, options, and emotional stability. Real wealth is not worrying about a job loss. It's not panicking when your car breaks down. It's being able to help your parents without putting it on a credit card. It's sleeping at night without that financial anxiety clawing at the back of your mind. That's the kind of wealth you can't fake. And here's what's crazy. It's not even that far out of reach. Most people could build it if they stopped wasting money trying to prove they already had it. The average person making $50,000 a year can become a millionaire over time just by investing consistently and avoiding debt. The math is simple, but ego gets in the way. The rich versus wealthy mindset. Here's the part nobody talks about. Rich people spend money. Wealthy people use money. Rich people think money is for buying things. Wealthy people think money is for buying freedom. That's the entire difference. One group uses money to look successful. The other uses it to stop working for people who are. When you understand that, your entire perspective shifts. You stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "Is this worth my freedom?" That question alone will change your entire financial trajectory. The boring reality of wealth. If you ever meet someone truly wealthy, you'll probably be disappointed by how boring their finances look. They invest in index funds, not crypto moonshots. They drive reliable cars. They keep their expenses low even when their income explodes. They live below their means, not because they have to, but because they choose to. They know that compounding only works when you don't interrupt it. That time in the market beats timing the market. That debt is the silent killer of wealth. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're too busy building something real. Most people won't follow this path because it doesn't look exciting enough. But you know what's not exciting either? Stressing over bills at 65. Why real wealth is getting harder to recognize. Here's the thing. Social media has completely destroyed our sense of what wealth actually looks like. You scroll through endless posts of people traveling, dining, upgrading, and assume they must be rich. But here's the truth. Most of that content is financed. Credit cards, payment plans, or business expenses written off for tax purposes. Meanwhile, the quiet millionaires, the ones who actually have freedom, aren't posting any of it. They don't need the validation. They're too busy living their lives offline. So if you're using social media as your financial compass, you're lost before you start. Building real wealth step by step. So what does it actually take to build real wealth? Here's the blueprint. Simple, but not easy. Step 1. Spend less than you make. Not once. Always. Step 2. Invest the difference automatically. No exceptions, no emotions. Step 3. Avoid debt like it's a scam, because most of the time, it is. Step 4. Keep your lifestyle stable even as your income grows. Don't let every raise become a reason to spend more. Step 5. Give compound interest time to do its job. It doesn't work fast. It works forever. That's it. That's the unglamorous, mathematically sound truth. You don't need secret stock picks or get-rich schemes. You just need patience and consistency. The two things most people refuse to develop. The emotional consequence of fake wealth. Here's the sad part. People who chase the appearance of wealth usually end up the most stressed. Because when your lifestyle depends on keeping up appearances, you can't stop. You can't slow down. You're trapped by your own image. You're terrified of losing status, terrified of looking like you're slipping. So you keep spending, even when you can't afford it. That's not freedom. That's financial anxiety and designer clothing. Real wealth feels the opposite. It's calm. It's knowing that no matter what happens, you'll be fine. That your bills are covered, your investments are growing, and you don't owe anyone anything. That peace is priceless. The simple truth most people avoid. The real reason people struggle to build wealth isn't that they don't know what to do. It's that they don't want to look less successful while they're doing it. Driving the older car, living in the smaller house, skipping the vacation, it feels like you're losing, but you're not. You're just playing a different game, a longer game. Everyone else is sprinting to look rich today. You're walking toward being wealthy forever. That's the trade-off, and it's worth it. So here's the shift. Wealth isn't about how much you can show. It's about how long you can go without worrying. Real wealth doesn't need validation. It doesn't need to be seen. It just needs to work quietly in the background, compounding while you live your life. You don't need to look rich. You need to stop being stressed. Because the real flex isn't the car, the watch, or the vacation. It's waking up in the morning with nothing to prove and everything handled. That's what wealth really looks like.